All right, this is my video for my backpack. For Ben and Ronnie specifically. Okay, things that I am gonna take in my pack, and we'll talk about what you guys should bring. Trekking poles, not necessary, but really fucking nice. I mean, I would strongly suggest bringing trekking poles. Any kind work, collapsible are really nice. Whatever you got, frankly. Ski poles would work. It's nice if they're collapsible because you can kind of sew them for times that you don't want to use them. You can kind of collapse them down, put them away, clip them to your pack if you got that. And just, I don't know, trekking poles really are just nice for the rocks. You can kind of find your way through. If we have snow crossing, which by July, I'm not really sure if we'll have a snow crossing, but maybe. So trekking poles, pretty cool. What I'm wearing, this shirt is not necessarily a good representation of what I'm going to be wearing, but it's kind of chilly out. These pants, though, are a pretty good pant to wear. They're like a lightweight wicking material. They zip off to be shorts. You don't have to go out and buy new pants if you don't have anything similar, but they are pretty slick for any kind of mountaineering or backcountry stuff.
What brand are they? What are they?
These are just REI brand pants.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But you know, Patagonians, these are basically these are the cheapest you're gonna get too. They're not bad. These pants really are cool. Like I said, they zip off to become shorts. Really good for the river crossing because we will have at least one river crossing, probably two. We're gonna have 2 river crossings. So being able to easily convert to shorts are pretty good. And then just some hiking boots, which I know you both have hiking boots, but these are my boots. Okay, this is my pack. Did not weigh it. Forgot that part.
Damn. Next time. We'll wait on the way down.
We'll wait on the way down.
I pack it up.
Report in notes what it weighed. Although it's not really good at representation because there's no water or food in here right now, really. So, here's my pack. Let's see what we got. Start on the outside. Like I said, there's gonna be a river crossing. There's numerous options you can do. You can just wear your boots, but I would suggest let's just go with don't wear your boots. Bring something, some sort of Tiva or Keen type sandal, something that straps on. You're not gonna lose them in swift water.
Water socks.
Water socks would work awesome. I think you both have those. Here's what I rock, just some strap Tiva stuff. I put them on the outside of the pack because it's a good drying pocket. I usually bring some carabiners and stuff too, so after the river crossing when they're wet, you can just strap them to the outside of the pack, let them dry out. But some water socks of some sort. Up here in the top pouch, I like to utilize, first of all, lightweight stuff. Bring it up top. You want all your heavyweight stuff towards your back and towards the back of the pack and low for heavy. And then the higher you get, the lighter weight the pack gets, ideally. I've packed a few sample items in here. We've got just some food, just dehydrated Mountain House, or in this case, Backpacker's Pantry food. We will get all of this when you guys get here, so don't really worry about acquiring this, but this is the kind of food we'll get. Here's some ice cream dessert. It's not delicious at all, but it is something. In the mountains, it's really good. Map, I will be bringing a map, but I do have a map. And then compass. These will be our navigational. Feel free to bring your own if you like. These are super lightweight, kind of fun to do your own orientation as you're going. I always like just referencing the compass as we go. All right, and then backpack. Inside my pack. And everything I've got packed in the order is relevant to how I like things to be. But, you know, kind of everybody's their own. I'll talk about why I've got things where they are. My rain jacket and rain pants right on top. I would strongly suggest bringing some sort of rain gear. Now these are really lightweight, thin, almost like warm-up pant style rain pants. The jacket's the same. Whatever you got, you can bring a heavier hard shell type jacket. I would not bring rubber, like a heavy rubber poncho or something. I don't know. Just weight is our #1 concern here. Lightweight. This is not the greatest rain jacket in the world, I'm not gonna lie. If it's a downpour, you're gonna get wet. But for just raining, it's good. It's a good windbreaker when there's winds about. It's a great little rain jacket. Ronnie, if you don't have one, Dad has this exact rain jacket he bought up here. It's red, and you should borrow his. If you don't already have a good one, just borrow Dad's. It's really good, works great. But just rain jacket, pants, I use this for like a shell, for warmth and stuff. You can just put all your layers on and have this on top, and then you basically got a coat. So, there's rain gear, a must. This is my, well, everything bag. I call it my kitchen bag, but that doesn't really do it justice. So, right here in this bag, I've got a cup, and for the way we're gonna be eating, honestly, a cup is probably all you really need. I also have in here a plate, just because I always have, I don't know. I've actually got way more kitchen stuff in here than we're gonna need. But I have a plate, but a cup you wanna get. This is the cheapest style cup you can possibly find. It works great. There's really cool ones out there. Ivan has a badass one. It's bigger. A bigger liter cup is nice because you can kind of fit more food in it. But some sort of cup is imperative. I have a knife. I have my pocket knife as well, always, but I have a bigger knife for just at camp processing some wood, doing whatever, playing around by the fire. It's always fun. Some guys, I know Sam will have some giant knives, so everybody, you know, just whatever knife you want to bring, if you want to bring, but a knife's really nice. If you're doing check bags only and you can't bring a knife because your carry-on on the plane, it's not a big deal, but you know, I like to have a knife. This is my water filter. It's pretty small. I won't break it out right now. I'll show you when we're actually camping. But pretty small, lightweight, filters water really well. If you're actually looking to buy one, Ivan, do you remember what it's called?
The Nano. It's the smallest one MSR makes.
It's an awesome little water filter. I'll show you when we're camping, but don't worry about doing any kind of water filtration system. You don't need to bring one, but here's the water filter, and that's a cool one. So maybe after we go, you'll like it and want to get your own. This is my eating tool, or one of many. This is the eating tool. You'll want to bring something to eat with. This is a good one because it's really long. They make something called the Kung Fu, which Ivan has, and I really like. I covet it, but I have this, so whatever. What's nice about it is you can eat out of this. Like, again, the cup is nice, the plate's kind of unnecessary. We'll heat these up with water. It will become dinner in the bag, and then this is long enough to eat out of the bag. So a nice long spoon is really nice. I would suggest getting something akin to that. I've got some spares, I'll show you as well. I got this little stuff sack in here with some additional stuff. Toothbrush, emergency can opener. Probably don't really need to bring that always, but I always do. Dish soap for washing stuff. This is river friendly, camp suds, whatever. Toothpaste for my toothbrush. This is a cleaning tool for cleaning out your dishes. Floss, because sometimes if you don't have floss, you will go fucking bananas. So having floss is pretty cool. Weighs nothing. Here's another style of eating tool that I have. This one's pretty cool. Eating out of the bag, it's a little messy because you're putting your hand like right in there. It's cool, it's got some tools on it and stuff. It's got its own little can opener. Obviously, you have a lot of redundancies here that you don't need to worry about, but another little tool, eating tool, also tool works as a screwdriver. Somebody can borrow this if you don't want to invest in a spoon. I
have an extra one of those as well.
Yeah, so there's that. And then I've also got magnesium and flint here for backup fire starter. We got a couple ways of starting fires here, as I'll go through. Also matches and lighters. So there's that. Toilet paper, always good. You can never, everybody should probably have their own, so you're not having to ask. But obviously there will be toilet paper. And this is a little tiny pouch. I just have tea and some hot chocolate and stuff. Sometimes in the evening, boiling water, just having a nice little warm cup of tea or something is pretty freaking nice. Just to warm the body on a cold evening. So that's something I have, a little luxury item. Again, I've got these are backup spoons I have in here, so we have plenty of eating utensils if you don't have one and don't get one. but you can see how much shorter they are. And if you're trying to eat out of a bag like this, your hands are gonna get messy, and there's not a bathroom to wash up in. Sharpening stone for knives. If your knife gets dull, also it's just kind of fun to sharpen knives at camp. So I've got a little sharpening stone in there. I've got in here as well some seasoning, which I'll have this. Another thing you don't need to worry about. A lot of this I think you can deduce you don't need to bring. We don't need more salt, pepper, cayenne, and garlic salt than I've got right here. So don't worry about getting these, but I've got these for meals to make them palatable rather. Another sharpening stone for some reason, because I really like sharpening stones. And then I've also got here some oatmeal packets. These are just more of my backup emergency sort of food rations. We will be packing food, but something like this is nice to have in the bottom of your pack. If things get kind of dire, you end up spending an extra night out there, one of these can be a lot of fuel for some time. You can get it dry, you can heat up some water real quick, and just get some extra fuel in you. And then I've got a couple of these little fire starter sticks. Put a flame on this thing burns pretty good, gets another fire going. So again, just redundancies for fire, it's pretty nice. And that's what I have in here. That's that stuff.
I'd like to add to that bag, wet wipes are just a luxury.
Yeah,
they are amazing, and they pack down to nothing.
Yeah. Sweaty ass.
Amen.
Nice.
Thank you.
The wet wipe is pretty good. And also I would have in this bag, I don't have here, but normally I would have garbage bags, which again, not something you need to bring, but we will have garbage sacks in here for hauling out our trash, and well, inevitably picking up a shit ton of trash on the trail that we'll come across. So I don't have any right here because we used them last time, but garbage bags as well. Okay, so that's what I call my kitchen bag. Here's my little first aid kit. It is just, this is one I purchased at REI, kind of comes with everything you need, and it is pretty good. I would suggest everybody having their own first aid kit, honestly. Just general good life practice, and everybody should have their own little stuff on them. But then I've added stuff to this and used stuff or whatever. There's your basic Band-Aids and the like in here. I won't go over everything it comes with because that's there. But things I've added are, I just use a little Altoid can, and I've got cotton balls in here. The bottom half is all cotton balls that have been soaked in petroleum jelly or Vaseline, and then the top is some dry cotton balls. And this is the greatest fire starter in the world. I think we've all probably heard of them, and think like, oh yeah, that's a thing, way to start fire. Well, this is the greatest way to start fire. This is how we start fires at the house now. Like one of these cotton balls, a wet Vaseline one in the fire, with a dry one on top, light the dry one, that will light anything on fire. They are amazing. So I keep those here in my first aid kit. I've also got a little magnifying glass lens that I've added for starting fires. If you need to, you can refract it, get the fire going. Also signaling, it weighs nothing, so it's a pretty cool little thing to have. And then the other thing I strongly suggest everybody getting and bringing, we can get that while you're up here, is a moleskin. They have it everywhere. Fred Meyer, Smith's, whatever. It looks like this. It's a very thin pad. It's adhesive on one side. It's called moleskin, so that's just fine moleskin. And it will save your feet like no other. I am going to wrap all the possible blister points before we even start. Every morning wrap them, and then as you get hot spots while you're hiking, you can mitigate a lot of pain and discomfort with this. It's really a miracle product. So I would suggest you can't have too much. In fact, looking at this, this is enough for me, so bring your own. It's pretty cool stuff. And then, there's Advil in here, some headache medicine, and then other stuff. I'm sure Ben will have a more prepared emergency kit than I can even begin to go through. So, but here's just my little first aid kit, some stuff. Moving on, here's my tent. This is the Rainfly and tent body itself. It's not even compressed actually, but this is my tent. I won't set it up right now. It's a 2-man tent. You guys are going to be sharing Ben's tent, so we won't really go into details on that, but that's a tent. And then here's my tent poles. Right there on the side of the pack. And I got tent poles and tent stakes in here. So that's my tent. This is a bladder that I carry. I keep it dry, I keep it empty, and I just wrap it up in the pack. I don't use this on the trail, I use it at camp. It's a really nice little 5-liter bladder that we can, once we get to camp, we'll set up tents and we'll take every water container that everybody has. Your bladders, a water bottle if you bring it, whatever kind of container you have for water, and we'll go fill them up and have them at camp so we can boil water and eat and drink and whatever, and only have to do that a minimum amount of time. So that's why I bring this. When it's dry, it's really lightweight, but it's a lot of water once we get to camp. So I really like this bladder. It's pretty heavy duty material. And then I've also got, and Ben just bought one of these yesterday, I have a water bladder with the drinking hose. So I carry this on my pack. I fill it up usually about halfway, or maybe a little over, depending on the section of trail, just to save on weight. I'd rather stop and filter water than carry extra water. But I have this, you know, you run the hose out, you can drink while you're walking, and it's pretty slick. If you don't have one of these, Ronnie, I have an extra. It's not as Gucci as this one, but it works just fine. I've got an extra one of these. So if you don't have one and you don't want to buy one right now, I've got an extra one for you. Or if you just want to have a water bottle, that's a fine option as well. I mean, just water on the trail is really what you're looking for. This is a pretty nice way of going. They have the handle, nice to fill up. I really like this water bladder, but this is not an item that you have to purchase because I do have more of these. I have another one of these. So that's what I bring for water, is those two, and then the water filter. This is clothing. So this is what you're really gonna have to focus on, specifically Ronnie, is getting, this is what I bring for clothing. And I have this in here, so you've seen I have my rain stuff separate. I have the clothing I'm gonna be wearing, my river shoes separate. But then I've got some lightweight gloves in here, which these are actually Ivan's. He loaned them to me. Mine are, this would be a layer of glove that you're gonna wanna bring, something lightweight and thinner. You don't need to bring a very heavy glove in July, but you definitely wanna have some kind of glove. For camp or something, it gets kind of cooler in the evenings, or something happens, it gets rainy. Some kind of glove. A water resistant one would be pretty cool as well, in case it is really rainy. That would be a primary reason you might have them on, but some kind of glove just to keep your hands warm, some extra layer. So, but it's not like a quick get-to item. It shouldn't be cold, and we'll talk as it gets closer to see what the weather is looking like. But gloves, again, I'm not wearing a good representation of what I'd be on the trail because I'd probably have a short sleeve shirt on and these pants. So I would bring a long sleeve shirt, not this and what I'm wearing. I would just have a long sleeve shirt in my pack, because I double up this and my coat, and I got a jacket later, but you know, if it gets chilly, you want to have a long sleeve shirt, but you don't need this and this. That's just getting a little ridiculous. If you were to get really wet and it were to be a problem, we could always stop and dry clothes out over a fire or something. Also, it's not a super dire situation, so we don't need multiple changes of clothes. One long sleeve shirt is fine. And then one pair of like some sort of long underwear. I have a really thin one here because I think that's going to be what you're going to want to have, is something in a really thin application. Again, in case it gets chilly in the evenings or something, or at all. This with these pants and moving while hiking is ample clothing. These pants and rain pants, you are going to be plenty warm, so don't worry about dressing warmer than that. But do bring, I would say, another pair of long pants. And then if these were to get really wet, you could wear just these or just those. So you basically got 3 pairs of pants anyway. So again, this represents ample pants. The one place I would bring an abundance of clothing is in socks. You really can't have too many socks. Feet getting uncomfortable is the worst. Of course, all wool, only go wool. Kind of staggering a couple different layers is nice. You can have, I have a pair of wool socks on now. Probably go with some thinner ones, but I have one on. We're gonna be out for 3 days and 2 nights. So I have 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair of socks, and then I bring a pair of really thick socks always. Now you could get rid of one of these and say you're gonna wear 2 and one of these, plan on wearing a pair twice or wearing these on the hike one day, potentially. But I bring some really thick, like warm winter socks, because at night they're nice, and then when you get to camp and you've been hiking your shoes all day, you can take your shoes off, put your really warm socks on, and put your water shoes on, which are probably dry by now. And if they're not, whatever, you just wear your socks around camp, no big deal. But you can put these on with those, your feet are warm, you've got some soles on your feet, and you're out of your shoes, because there's nothing better than being out of your shoes after a long day hiking. And the really warm socks, you know, I mean, it's Alaska, even in the summer, it gets cold in the evenings. So some good warm socks really, in my opinion, are worth every ounce. And again, that's one place I'll sacrifice is socks for weight. So I bring extra socks, always. So that's really all the clothing you're gonna need to do. I would bring that much clothing. I really wouldn't bring more. You could do without these pants possibly. Definitely you're gonna want a long sleeve shirt. I would say this is a pretty good setup for you guys, but if you wanted to change anything, consider the pants is the place to fudge. So moving on, this is my kitchen, really. This is the cook. This is the oven, and I'm not even sure I'm going to bring this whole thing, but this is what I have. This is what I bring normally. If we're eating, we'll have to see. If we're eating all these Mountain House meals, I don't need these pots and pans, but I'll show you what my system is anyway. Here's my MSR pot and pan set. I've got the little skillet style pan, and then it all nests together. It's pretty cool. I got a big pot, a smaller pot, the pot handle that is interchangeable amongst them, and then I have my stove nested inside of there, which this is a fuel stove. It's the Whisper Light, and I'm not going to get that out right now, but this, I don't have my fuel bottle on me. My fuel bottle would normally be right here on the side. It's in the shed right now, but which is way down the mountain. And so this is my stove setup. You know, you can do a lot of cooking and stuff. We'll have to kind of see what we want to do for food, but if we're just doing this kind of food, I'll probably only bring this, or I should probably only bring my jet boil, which I don't have out here. I'm just kind of showing you what, I guess this is what I took on our last year. And then this oil is I have this all in the same bag. This is my windscreen for the stove that I won't set up right now, but this is the windscreen. And then at the bottom of this, I have, again, auxiliary, just in the interest of being redundant. I have a little Vargo stove, which is a cool, really fun little wood-burning stove, which we'll play with at camp. I'll show you how it works. It's kind of cool. Weighs really basically nothing. Folds down super flat. Fits right in the bottom. And I just bring that in case you run out of fuel or your fuel bottle leaked everywhere and you have no fuel. You can make a fire, but this is a way of making a concentrated fire. So that is the stove situation. Again, something you guys really don't have to worry about. Don't even, I mean, especially with flying, you can't bring fuel on the plane, so don't even bring a stove because we will have more than enough. So that's that. And then we'll move to the bag. This here is my sleeping bag, and this here is my ground pad. I'm not gonna get them out. My sleeping bag is a 25-degree bag, 25 degree plus. Not really warm, but in my experience, plenty warm. I sleep pretty warm anyway, but it's a mummy bag, obviously. But it is a really nice little bag. As you can see, it compresses down pretty small, and actually, I have my sleeping bag in here, as well as a down vest. So that adds to the clothing. And this really sets it off to like, I am plenty warm. Like there's no way I would need to be this warm. But, you know, it's nice to be comfortable. So this kind of back to the clothing. Something like this, it's a really thin little down vest. You know, if you got something like this, awesome. Really, I use this for a pillow more than anything. I break it out, you know, at camp sometimes because I have it, but I really, you don't really, I don't know, bring a jacket if you want, I guess. But this kind of serves as a jacket, so some sort of long sleeve or a fleece long sleeve is actually nice. Fleece is water repellent, so some sort of long sleeve fleece with the rain jacket make a nice coat. So I have this, and I just stuck it with my sleeping bag again, sort of as an emergency backup. It fits really nice and makes a really nice pillow. So that's my sleeping setup. Again, my tent. And then my ground pad is a little larger than a lot, but it's really big and comfortable. I've had it for a long time. I don't feel like buying another one. There's a lot smaller ground pads out there. There's also a lot bigger ground pads. This one works for me. It's very long, plenty lofty. And the other thing I like about it is I've got this, which I rock on the side of my pack. It's pretty small. It doesn't weigh much. I bring it. I'll show you at camp, but what it does is when the ground pad's inflated, the ground pad you can fold it in half and put it in these, it's boning, some strength members that turn my ground pad into a little ground chair. It's like a beach chair. You sit on the ground, but it gives you some back support. So that's kind of cool. It's a little luxurious, overly luxurious, not necessary. Bring a chair of some kind if you want to. Some guys bring like these little 3-legged tripod chairs. That's cool. They weigh a lot, so I don't know. I think that everything you do should be weight conscious, because I mean, the less weight you have, the more fun you have. Even if you're really comfortable at camp, that's like 3-4 hours of like a 12-hour day. So that's, I don't know, weigh the trade-offs, I guess. But I'd rather be comfortable during the walk all day, which we're doing all day. And when you're sitting at camp, you can sit on the ground, find a rock or a tree to lean against. Pretty good too. But as I say that, I bring a chair. So,
Jerk.
whatever. Yeah, I know. I bring because I have it and it's small. And then this is the thing I have too in my pack always. It's a kite, because I think it's funny. It weighs nothing, it's super tiny, but it's really fun to fly a kite in the middle of nowhere. So I guess that's another thing I have. And that is my backpack. Obviously there's gonna be more food and trail snacks. And then I have my camera and my gun on me. Are the only things not shown in this image, I guess.
Gas bottle.
Oh, and my gas bottle, my fuel bottle for the stove, which might be a different, this actually, as I'm saying it, is going to be completely, I'm not even gonna bring that because there's no point if we're eating all this food. So I'll have a whole different stove setup, which is smaller. But yeah, so that's that. Ivan, anything else? Am I missing anything?
I don't think so, man. Get a quick zoom in on the stuff you got going here, and yeah, that was beautiful.
Cody will have his backpack and all the dog food. He brings out all the trash, so that's pretty good. So for Ronnie, for you specifically, the things you're gonna wanna worry about or think about are clothing, boots, a sleeping bag, and ground pad. Ground pad, I have ample ground pad options. Like, I mean, Matt has ground pads for days. Possibly a sleeping bag. Let me know if you got sleeping bag. If you don't have a sleeping bag, rather, and you need one, we can probably round that up. But the things you should try to bring is a backpack, a sleeping bag, and a ground pad. Boots, which I know you have already. Clothing, as we've gone over, I think, pretty thoroughly. And some sort of water bottle container. However, I have my backup water bladder, so that's not a must item. I would bring a spoon. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say go out and get something akin to this, or look up the Kung Fu. I don't know, if you like chopsticks, actually. If you don't like chopsticks, this is better. But some kind of longer spoon is pretty nice. A cup. That's gonna be an important thing that you're gonna wanna have for beverages, for food, for everything. Oh, the other thing I'll have in this whole kit is some kind of like, I bring wine, beer, or whiskey, some kind of alcoholic beverage for those that want to imbibe. I
think that's about it.
That's about it. A first aid kit you should have. I'm going to suggest that. It's not a must item, but it's just a good...
We'll add it together.
Okay. And we're back. You're definitely going to want a hat. I've been wearing mine, so I neglected to mention that, but you're going to want a hat. I keep that with my clothing and gloves because it's not like a need to get to right now item, and also keeps it dry. And that just makes me think of one more item I have that I didn't pull out. With your backpacks, you might already have one, Ben. Ronnie, with your pack, you might have one. But a rain fly for your backpack is pretty nice. They are not expensive. This is like, this one right here is a generic one. It's not, like they make nice Osprey ones, which I'll have one for my pack, but I'm showing you this very generic one. I think I am. But it's just a sack. And you drape it over your full backpack and it keeps your shit dry. And it is really worth every penny because, you know, we don't know, but it could be raining the whole time. I mean, I just want you guys to be aware of that possibility. I mean, it's unlikely, but it's a chance. Like, it might be raining the entire trip. We might leave in the rain, set tent in the rain, walk in the rain. It might be raining the whole time. And if it is, I don't care how waterproof your backpack is, it's gonna get wet and it's gonna soak through. So something like this, just a rain fly, they cost 15 bucks maybe. I don't know, I'm pulling that out of my ass. I don't know how much they cost, but they're not expensive.
Mine's 60, just throwing that out there.
Yours is 60?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Well, Ivan has a high fluting backpack, and if you think you're a baller like Ivan, and have the Gucci backpack.
Do not be a baller. Trust me, it's not worth it.
Generic rain fly, how about that? Because he could also buy this one, I want to point out. You could buy this one, it would fit your pack.
Sure.
But just, he likes to.
Yeah, doesn't match.
Doesn't match.
Sorry.
So, yeah, rain fly's pretty good. Otherwise, you know, bring a toothbrush. Oh, I don't care. Don't bring a toothbrush. I don't care what you do. But an eating tool. And yeah.
And there's always REI here.
I mean, yeah.
When you get here, you get here, we'll know what you have. We'll know what you don't have.
When you get here, we're gonna break your stuff down. We're gonna look at what you got. We'll go through it. So don't stress it as far as getting stuff together. I mean, try to get everything together that you think you need. If you forget something last minute and you're at the airport, it's not a big deal. We'll work it out, so keep that in mind. But the things like, you know, the big money things, you want to, I realize, budget that into your life. So things like shoes, backpack, Ben's got the tent. I don't know. I think that's pretty thorough.
I think so, man.
So, right on. Super excited. It's going to be a good time. Ellie, May, and Cody have been talking about it. Ellie's not going. Just FYI, that, you know, changes anybody's opinion on coming themselves. But yeah, that's it. That's my video.
Cheers, fellas.
The bar stool starts to grow roots. I'm feeling like an old worn out pair of shoes. Oh, tell me what is it that I should do when I'm swimming in the liquor only halfway through. So I'm watching as his wings spread as wide as could be. Oh, come on now and wrap them around me. Cause all I wanna do now is fall to sleep. Come down here and lay next to me. Oh, thank you, Jack Daniel. Low number 7. Tennessee whiskey got me drinking in heaven. And up here the bottle never runs dry. And you never wake up with those tears in your eyes. Oh,